Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. I have the chance to interview Cedrik from VisionDev. They've built an amazing real estate portfolio over the past few years. I've had the chance to see them as they were growing it, and I'm really proud to have them here so we can talk about real estate funds, and how they're managing it. How's it going, Cedrik?
Pretty good. How are you?
Very good, thanks. So I'm really glad we have a chance to chat. You've been growing your portfolio, and we also met at fund launch.
That's right, in Orlando.
Yeah, and you've been growing your portfolio in the past few years, and I'm really proud to see you guys going. So tell us a little bit more about how that's going, and especially where you started initially, you and your partner.
Correct. So Leo and I are both partners in VisionDev. It's been now 6 years we're doing this full time.
Yeah.
Started with a very simple flip, like a condo flip. Leo and I, we worked in it. We put the labor into it. And now today we're managing over $20 million worth of real estate multi-residential assets. And we started 2 funds already, real estate funds. So it's growing exponentially. We're very happy. And we're taking the right steps in the right direction. So we're definitely happy to be where we are, and happy to be with you today discussing it.
Yeah, thanks. So tell me, you started with how much initially, you and Leo, how much you have saved? How much were you starting out with versus where you are now?
Leo and I, the first day that we decided to create the company VisionDev Inc., we needed to incorporate ourselves. We had a lawyer quoting us to do the whole business, the convention, the agreement, and the actual opening of the business. And the quote was around $6,000.
Yeah.
So Leo and I put $3,000 each inside of a bank account, and today we're at $20 million under asset. So we started from $6,000 basically. That's the business.
And that's what's beautiful about your story. You know, you haven't had so much backing. You haven't had, tons of support. It's just like what I've seen is you guys grinding it out, putting in the sweat and the sweat equity into your business a lot of the time.
You're right, but we did have a lot of backings throughout. We do have a lot of partners. We do have a lot of money coming from different people to invest with us, either through equity or through debt.
Yeah.
So lots of backing, but we did start from literally $6,000 inside of a bank account. That's right.
And tell us how you built your network of partners, how it was at the beginning versus now. I know that you guys have a system to attract deals and partners, but how were you at the beginning in terms of partners versus where you are now?
Initially, we didn't know many people in this field. Leo, my partner, both his parents were real estate brokers, so they had a bit more knowledge and more contacts in this field, but not in investment and multi-residential assets. So that was completely new. So initially, what we decided to do is just to seek our network and ask for advice. What should we do? Where should we start? And when you ask for advice, people are willing to give you more than just an advice. They're going to give you time. They will help you out. They will give you contact. So I don't exactly remember the exact amount, but I could say that we sat down 30, 40 meetings with 30 or 40 people in the field in Montreal in real estate. And through this, we met at least 3 partners. 3 of our initial partners came from meetings where we said, "Hi, we're new. We want to invest in real estate and we want to do this. Can you please give us some advice?" And they did give us advice. And further along, they became partners with us. So it was definitely a nice relationship that we built with them.
Can you tell us a little bit more about those meetings? Where were you having them? And what were your kind of questions initially for those partners that got them to want to help you?
Coffee shops.
Yeah.
We met through inside of a lot of coffee shops. I have a lot of souvenirs in coffee shops. But it was just genuine questions about 2 guys. We would tell them, we are new.
Yeah.
And tell us where you should think we should start, what we should do, which type of assets, how we should approach, investors, how we should approach managing tenants, bank. It's we were very genuine in our approach, saying we want to achieve a goal. We want to do this full time. We're there for it's a marathon of life, but for real estate. So tell us what we should be doing. And because we were genuine, authentic, people were willing to give us their time and very valued time. Like we sat down with people that were valued at with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it was impressive sometimes how people were just willing to give us like an hour of their time freely.
Wow.
Even though if we had like no real experience in the field, because we had the right attitude.
Yeah.
And right mindset, and people like this because all of those like successful entrepreneurs started somewhere as well. So they're very, I guess, some of them are very eager to help the next entrepreneur. So.
Very nice. Can you tell us maybe some of the big AUMs of the mentors that you've had initially that you were surprised to get?
AUMs, like, oh, you mean how much they were worth?
Yeah, well, the value of their assets under management, or like some numbers around them, to, because I know that sometimes, I've been telling you guys as well, there's this, you can have impromptu meetings with people who are way ahead of you, and it's surprising how you can do that. And you guys were starting out, you didn't necessarily have a lot of support, but quickly you got maybe around people who were quite influential or experienced.
So at least there's two people that we know of that are, let's say one that is in the 9 numbers.
Oh, wow.
And then couple, let's say 2 or 3 that are in the 8 numbers. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Net worth, let's say.
Wow.
AUM, not sure.
Net worth.
Like when you start to try to calculate the AUM, it gets very complicated and numbers gets crazy.
Yeah.
But like there's something that I realized throughout the process is like there is money.
Yeah.
And you don't really see it when you're like going through your day to day, but like there is money around. There's people that they're worth a lot, and there's big investment being done all the time. And now I see it because I'm obviously like investing in real estate, like discussing with partners and investors and creating funds. But so there's a big network of people that want to invest, that have a lot of money, and these people are just walking down the streets like anybody else. Like I go to those to some real estate events, and as a joke now with Leo, it's like we go see people that are wearing jeans and a polo because these kind of people have we think of as a joke that they have the most net value.
Yeah.
The people that are in suit are either trying to sell you something or like their mortgage broker or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. I hear it a lot. You know, the guy who enters the basically the place where they sell cars, the car lot, and then it's a Lamborghini or Ferrari. The guy who actually buys is the guy in flip-flops and shorts, right? Usually, and not the guy
doesn't need to show up.
Goes in a suit. How did your money mindset change from where you remember you were at the beginning versus now how you think about building wealth and relationship to, for example, investing and surrounding yourself with people who have a lot of wealth? How has that changed during your career?
Well, it's a mindset shift completely, and it was a process. Like I didn't have this mindset initially. I understood the concept. Like initially, I took a real estate investment course with the Club des investisseurs immobiliers du Québec, and they taught us how to build multi-generational wealth. So I understood the concept of it, but initially, when we decided, Leo and I, that we wanted to invest into multi-residential assets, the numbers were like 10x the number of buying a condo. So from the get-go, we had to change our mindset. It's like instead of buying something that was 200 grand, now we were buying something that's like $1 million. It's like for your first asset or for your first purchase, it's pretty big. Like nobody's used to this when you're starting. So that was just impactful to me initially, to just look at a value of a property that was just higher. Because in the end, the work is all the same, the strategy is the same, it's just with bigger numbers. So this was a mindset shift completely. Today, it's kind of weird with Leo. Like we're discussing, I'm walking down the street, having a call with Leo. Leo will say like, oh, we have this offer, negotiation, it's like 3.4 million for this. And I'm discussing with him on the phone, and I feel that people are looking at me on the street. And to me, it's like a normal kind of business day. And those numbers are less scary, but they're big numbers. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the mindset relating to money shifts a lot. I was just also with someone who raised $2 billion, and it's crazy because super humble guy, super nice, and it's a lot of people sometimes will think, oh, the more wealth you have, the more you can have like this authority frame, or you can be a dick because you don't need it and all of that stuff. But truly, it's funny how you evolve in your mindset. And one of the questions that comes to me a lot is like, what is money? So my question to you is, what is money for you? How do you perceive it?
My first answer to this would be that money is just freedom.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
I don't think money is a goal. It's just it's something that you use in order to get more freedom. And I guess everybody has their own definition of freedom. But for myself, it's just to be able to do whatever I want of my day. And I could ask you the same question, you won't have the same answer, and that's fine. But that's my definition of it.
And that gives you a lot of freedom. I know you recently had a new addition to the family.
That's right.
And I'm guessing that's one of your main goals, if I'm correct. Is it important for you, the value of family and spending time with your family? How's your lifestyle as you?
Yeah, 100%. Like extremely important. My dad always told, like my dad was a successful entrepreneur, sold his business, first, let's say, entrepreneur of the family. And he always told me throughout my whole childhood, like, Cedrik, you have to win at two things in life. You have to win in business and family. You cannot win only in one. Win in two. So that stuck with me. And today, yes, I got I have a new my second daughter. She's 2 weeks old now. So very happy about this whole process. My wife is doing a very good job with the whole thing. She's a champion. So yeah, but like I value family as much as I value the business. I want to be successful in both. I spend a lot of effort in both, and I'm fulfilled by the two of them. I don't believe that in life you should have a balance in between the two. You should just like have them intertwine and live your business life with your family and live your family life with the business. Obviously, it's like you have to have some separate time, but I think the family time and business time is intertwined.
Mm-hmm. And tell us a little bit more about lifestyle. We were talking about no vacations, or your philosophy around vacations. What do you think about that, and how is your lifestyle in the day-to-day?
So day-to-day is mostly, so obviously I work like Monday to Friday. I take weekends off, and I very value the weekends. At night, it's not like I work all the time. I'm with the family. But during the day, I also take time whenever I need it to take the time. Like Leo and I in VisionDev, we are not, I don't know if I can say it, corporate whores, like where we just like work all the time. This is not what we value. It's like we're going to take Fridays off if we want. We're going to take an afternoon off to go like meet people. Like we're very, very open, and we value the freedom that business provides. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, we have big goals and we want to have success, but we're not willing to sacrifice our life currently in order to have a better life in the future. We're going to live a good life currently and then benefit from it in the future with our business goals.
Yeah, very nice. I want to get into some of the crunchy stories around real estate and building your guys' portfolio. Mm-hmm. We were speaking about how you've grown your portfolio over the years. Some of the stories are quite interesting. So tell us, maybe, it all sounds great. You've grown to $20 million portfolio, but what's the bad side of like building that portfolio? What have been the challenges mm-hmm. and the stories around the challenges that you've had?
Well, the bad side, it's like real estate is simple as a concept. Yeah. People understand that you have to buy right, you have to improve the property, let's say, and the property will go up in value. Like that's a simple concept, but it's very, very difficult. Takes a lot of time. Real estate, it's not like it's a marathon. Like it takes time. Everything moves slowly, and it's extremely tough. And then the devil is in the detail and everything. So And that's something that I still struggle with. It's like, I want to get results now, but I can't, and I don't, and it takes time. And it's like, for us, it's like buying a new property is something exciting, and it should be. But technically, after 3 months of due diligence, after like all the time that you spend into the deal, you buy it, you're like super happy, we go, we celebrate, but technically there's nothing done. It's like it just started. You have to do the whole you have to do the work, and now after that, couple years after, you want to refinance it, sell it, and then you can have another win and then get the profits and the results. But everything is in real estate is slow, and it's tough, and it relates back to the book Grant Cardone 10X. Maybe realize that everything that I thought that would be like easy and straightforward, it's always 10X. It always needs me like more effort for some reason. So there's issues, there's situations. So that's my kind of like real estate is good. There's good returns, but it takes time, and there's a lot like it's tough.
Yeah, basically anything you choose that's worth something is always going to be challenging.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, because a lot of people online are pitching, oh, do real estate, it's going to be super easy. You're going to fix and flip. We're going to help you find properties. But I appreciate the fact that you're sharing that it takes patience, it takes time, it takes actual effort.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit more about the stories and the challenges that you've had, for example, buying a property and figuring stuff out later.
Yes. I can tell you the first time the second acquisition we did, the first one was a condo that Leo and I did renovations inside of it. But the second property we bought was a 10-unit building. So this was the biggest building we were buying, the biggest asset. First day we do the visit. It was a 10-unit in Hochelaga, like very small studio apartment. The building was not in good condition, not on a good street. Like everything was bad as like where the building was at that time, but we saw big potential to bring it back up. Let's say that day that we visited the building, I think the building had 2 vacancies, so eight tenants total currently. We did the visit. On the 8 tenants that were there, at least I saw at least 3 tenants sleeping on a what's a matlet side.
Basically on the floor.
On the floor.
Yeah.
And one other tenant sleeping on his sofa. Okay. So no bed. So basically 4 tenants, like half of the tenants didn't have any bed to sleep on. And for me, that it was so impactful. I never lived through this. I lived coming from a funded, well-off family.
Yeah.
And then seeing like half of the tenants not having a bed to sleep, that was like very impactful. Wow. And I definitely had thoughts of like reconsidering real estate in general. Wow. Like on that specific moment, being like, what am I getting into? Like this is not what I was expecting.
And why would you say you were questioning, or why did the doubts come up?
Because you get excited about the business goals. You get excited about the process. You get excited about like where you're going to be in like 10 years. But that day where you see humans living in conditions that you think to yourself that are not acceptable, like not sleeping on a bed, you're like, where will it be always like this? Is this something I want to live through all the time? Obviously, when we that's also our fault, kind of like we seek buildings that are in rough conditions. Yeah. And we renovate them, optimize them. So obviously we're going to find situations like this, but definitely made me think like that. I was not expecting this, let's say on my first visit of buying a 10-unit building.
Yeah. And I heard also that you guys had some stories where you bought a building, for example, because in real estate, it all sounds good from the outside. And a lot of people, okay, wow, they have $100 million portfolio. They have, but you guys bought a building and you had a special surprise after having bought it.
Well, we definitely have many special surprises here and there. Like cockroaches, it's always like bad surprises. One day, so we get a call from a tenant. There's cockroaches. Okay, we call the exterminator. This was my first time calling an exterminator. So I wanted to be there just to understand like what happens, what's happened, like what's the next step, just to understand it, because I was I wanted to learn. So I go there. The exterminator opens the door, sees the tenant, then the exterminator goes to the in the kitchen, pushes the fridge, and I remember I was outside the apartment, but I could see the fridge from the door frame through the fridge, and the moment he pushed the fridge, like 1,000 cockroaches came out of it, like running everywhere. And at the end of the treatment, the exterminator came to me and he said, "Cedrik, this was my worst time ever." And when the exterminator tells you this, you're like, "Ooh, I had a very big problem." And it was resolved. It came twice in the same unit.
Wow.
Never had any more cockroaches inside of this building, and it's a 12-unit building.
Wow. And what did you do from there? You just invited him, and did you guys renovate the rest, or?
Yeah.
So you had to was it a deep,
I think we even paid the exterminator to
that?
come back a third time just to be sure, even though we had nothing else, no other cockroaches, just to be safe.
Did you guys have to do a deep cleans of that apartment? And
yes, 100%. Yeah.
Must be a wild game. That's the fix and flip game as well in real estate. There's always a surprise somewhere.
Yes.
And the value add game. You guys did a really nice project recently, which I saw the value add. That was really nice.
Correct.
And you especially focus on the operation side. You were leading that one, right?
Yes, but this one was luxury condos, not typically what we do, because we're mostly in the residential, multi-res.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is... in my part of the business, I deal with a lot with the contractors and the general contractors. So it's always checking the budget. Are you delivering what you said you were going to deliver? Is there a price increase? What's happening with the sub trades? It's a job. It's a full-time job. Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard that during COVID, you guys had some surprises as well when it came to contractors. Tell us a little bit more about.
During COVID, we were renovating a 20-unit building.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of it, COVID happened. Our general contractor was telling us crazy stories about all the sub trades, like doubling, tripling their prices on the spot. But also at that time during COVID, the real estate market in Montreal was extremely hot. Everything, all the prices were going up. Also, all the renovations were going up. So basically, what happened is we had contracts with 20 subtrades, and out of the 20 subtrades, 19 of them came back to us, who came back to the general contractor and said, "We're going to cancel the contract we have with you. We're going to double our price, and that's it. And you have nothing else to do." And then the GC was telling us he would call so many other competitors, and all the competitors were like, "Yeah, we double our price as well because that's the market now." And one impactful story is that we had plasters come in the day of the job. They basically took all the equipment inside of the unit, and they said to the GC on the spot, "Instead of being $2,000, we're going to charge you $6,000. You have to accept or we leave." And the GC was like, "But I can't. It doesn't fit in the budget. That's not even what we sign on." And the guys just packed up all their stuff and left. And for 3 weeks, we had no plaster. We had to find another plaster. So it cost us 3 weeks. So it's do you want to, there's carrying costs in every project. So you have to calculate, do you want to pay the $6,000 to do it now? Mm-hmm. Or you have to wait and pay interest on a project that is not done.
Yeah, that's...
And the subtrades didn't care. They just left. They had a contract. Didn't care. They left.
That's the dark side of real estate that most people don't see. It's the thing that people there's a lot of flashy online, but it's well, can you handle these problems day to day, all the time? And I think that's your part of the business, actually.
Yeah. It's not very flashy what I do.
Yeah. And... tell us, I wanted to ask you the question because I've been asking it to a few people building their portfolios recently. You told us your portfolio is at 20 mil. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest check you've ever gotten from an investor?
The biggest check was a $2 million check to buy a property.
Wow.
With an investor. Yeah, that's right.
What did you guys buy?
It was the 28 unit building I just mentioned where we were doing the renovations.
Wow.
So the exact cost was we purchased it for 3.4 million, and we needed $2 million in order to purchase it and also do the renovations or start the renovations, because we had to have also, like, the renovations were more than what we expected. So we had the bank having a second loan on the property in order to cash flow the renovations.
And how did you guys find such an investor who would commit so much to you?
That, like, I come back to what I told you initially. We had a meeting in a coffee shop. We asked them for advice, and then we brought them deals.
Did you at least pay for the coffee the first time?
I don't recall.
No.
But I think I should have. Yeah,
that's a good ROI.
Yeah. I remember it was on a Sunday though, and that weekend I was at the cottage with my family, and Leo, my partner, called me or like texted me saying, like, Cedrik, we finally have a meeting with this person on a Sunday at 10 a.m. And I think it was Sunday. He texted me this like 2 hours prior, and I was an hour and a half away. And I just told all my family at the cottage, like, I have to leave. And I went for the coffee in downtown Montreal.
Wow.
And after that half an hour coffee meeting, I went back to the cottage. I remember specifically that. It was crazy. But yeah, definitely a good investment in time.
So 2 mil, how much was that project total?
We purchased it for $3.4 million today, and now it's been 4 years, 3.3 years about.
Yep.
It's valued at 7.6.
Wow, great job. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the most important thing when people are looking for partners, looking for mentors? What's the most important thing in terms of choosing the right ones versus sometimes maybe you choose the wrong ones, right?
Well, I think that's a very, very difficult question to answer, and I don't have a very specific answer. I think I can talk for myself, but different people have different answers. But you have to have your core values in line, and also believe you should have a relationship with the person.
Okay.
I'm not saying it should be your brother and you have but I'm saying you should have had either work with this person in the past in some sort of way, and there's maybe just know the person, know that and know what's the good behavior to the bad behavior that this person is doing. I can talk with the partnership that I currently have with my partner Leo.
Yeah.
We worked together for about 5 years in a different environment. And that's why we decided to be together inside of and create VisionDev, because we worked we basically were working together before being friends and then before being partners. So we knew each other. We knew what went good, what went bad, what we each liked, what we were better at. So that's I really value the experience that you have before getting inside of a partnership.
Definitely. And when it comes to
can also relate this back to with my wife as well. We stayed together 10 years before getting married.
Wow.
So I really wanted to make sure everything was right before marrying her.
Honestly, and you guys know that I can vouch for this, but choosing the right people in your life is very, very important, and filtering out the right partners, the right investors, the right teammates, because otherwise it just sends you off track for a little while. Maybe it's a few years off track or whatever it is. So when it comes to investors, how do you guys identify the best investors that fit with your deals versus maybe the wrong ones? Can you tell us maybe a story around the wrong one, the right ones?
I guess I don't have any specific stories, but it comes back to it's people that we know. It's people that we either have done business with in the past or that are inside of our circles. We don't just talk to anybody on the street, and I don't think that's worth it, because maybe it is, and maybe there's somebody that we can find, but every partners that we have is coming through either a reference or like we know them from our own circles.
Very nice. So you're working through warm referrals. It's always
correct, and we always meet one-on-one with everybody, and we always do like calls, meetings. It's not like we're sending texts and emails and cold calls. Like we do not do this.
What would be the best piece of advice you would give yourself if you were to go back, let's say 5 years? What would be the best piece of advice that you would give yourself if you wanted to go faster at building the portfolio that you guys have built?
I think we're doing pretty good in the fast aspect of it, like where we are now. I guess it would be take less and take less equity, do more deals. Like I'm very happy with the growth that we had.
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where we're stepping it like to another level or another league with funds.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what we're doing now. We're taking less, but we're taking less of a bigger pie. So should we have done this earlier? But we did it. Should we have done this like more? Maybe not. Like everything has a process.
Yeah.
Like we had to be where we are today in order to like start those funds. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. I get it. Usually there's a process for, I think a lot of people, we could give ourselves advice, but we needed to go through all the steps to get to where we are now, to understand what we understand.
And I value the process as well. I value the learning. Yeah. Sometimes what I discuss with my partner, Leo, he has like some great ideas and we should leap like 10x forward in that aspect. And I will be the one saying like, we need to have a bit more experience in order to do this.
And just to conclude, I want to ask you maybe one last question is, what advice would you give anyone in the audience who might be looking at maybe choosing a career in the fund space, in the real estate space? What advice would you give them to grow a success kind of like what you guys have done?
More like somebody that wants a career or wants to start like being an entrepreneur?
Being an entrepreneur.
I guess the best advice is always like just start.
Yeah.
Just start. Leo and I decided to do this together. Leo did it like 6 months before me. I left my job. We jumped inside of the boat. We burned the boat. Like we didn't have any other options.
Yeah.
And it worked. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it, but I'm saying you should just start, and that will be the best decision you're gonna make. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's a tough tough environment. There's a lot of issues. It's like, but there's a very good payoff.
Yeah.
And also as I mentioned, like I value freedom, my liberty, and entrepreneurship, and real estate provides me the tools in order to do this. That's why we're doing it. So anybody that wants to do it, I would say go 100%. But I mean, you can go take courses or check videos online. That's very valuable, I believe it. But at some point, you need to take action. And in real estate, you should. When is the best time to buy your first property? It's like yesterday. It's like you should just buy now. Like time will make a big difference. So if you can buy something now and take action now, it will pay off by a lot. Instead of just waiting another year. Absolutely,
Cedrik. Congrats on your success so far, and wishing you a lot more success.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.